How many Korean words do you think you need before you can have a basic conversation? Most students I talk to, they give me numbers like 1,000 words, 2,000 words, or sometimes even more. And they are still adding to that number every single week. Here's what I have noticed. The students who actually speak Korean, they stopped adding at some point, and something changed when they did. My name is Seunghee. I've been teaching Korean for almost a decade, and I work with students who have been studying for years, sometimes many years, and still freeze the moment when somebody speaks to them. What I've found again and again is that the problem is almost never what you think it is. There is a book I love called The One Thing. The idea is pretty simple. In any area of your life, there is one thing you can do that makes everything else easier or even unnecessary. Just one thing. But most Korean students do the opposite of this. They add more. More vocabulary, more grammar, another app, a new textbook. Every week, something new goes into the pile, and the pile gets bigger. But the speaking doesn't get better. And I understand why this happens. Adding feels like progress. It feels like you did something today. And it is not nothing. Vocabulary does matter, it's very important. But here's what I want you to see. You already have more words than you think. The students I work with who freeze, they are not freezing because they are missing a word. They are freezing because they have never actually practiced the act of speaking. Think about your own language. You didn't become fluent by memorizing words or grammars. You became fluent by using words in real situations until they stop requiring your effort. The vocabulary and the speaking happen at the same time. They're not separate things. Here's the problem with studying vocabulary on its own. You can know a word and still not be able to use it. Recognizing a word and producing a word are different skills. Your brain is good at recognizing words when somebody else uses them, but using them word yourself in a real situation is a completely different skill. Think about learning to swim. You can study every technique. You can know exactly what your arms and legs are supposed to do. And then you get in the water and nothing works the way you expected, right? So the knowing and the doing are separate things. And the only way to get better at speaking is to actually speak. Every word you learn passively stays in the recognition system. It only moves into the production system when you actually try to use it out loud and get feedback on whether it came out right. So, if you could do one thing for your Korean speaking for the next 30 days, just one thing, what should that one thing be? Not the thing that feels most productive, but the thing that actually builds the skill you want. And the answer is output with feedback. Speaking Korean out loud, even badly, and having a real Korean speaker hear what you said and tell you what to adjust. That's it. That's the one thing. Everything else, like the vocabulary, the grammar, the listening, it all supports that. But without that, it doesn't turn into speaking on its own. So here's what I want you to try. Pick one simple question you might get asked in Korean, such as 오늘 어땠어요? Like, how was your day? And record yourself answering out loud in Korean. Then send the recording to a native Korean speaker, like your Korean friend or Korean tutor, and ask them what sounded off and how they would say it more naturally. Then do it again. And the next day, same question with a feedback in your head. Do that for 2 weeks, just that one thing, and notice what happens to your speaking. One of my students had been adding vocabulary every single day for almost a year, and still she couldn't get through a basic conversation without freezing. When she stopped adding and just started doing that one thing, speaking out loud and getting feedback, she told me 2 weeks later that she had used more Korean in real conversation than in the entire previous year. Not because she had more words, but because the words she already had finally had somewhere to go. If you want to try this with real feedback every week, That's exactly what we do inside our free Korean speaking community. One prompt every week, and you record your answer, and I listen and tell you what to work on. The link is in the description. It is free. Come try the one thing.